What's up, everybody? Happy Spoopy Day. As you can see, I'm in the Halloween spirit, and you can tell that I'm a proper live streamer because I was late to the scheduled stream. But how's everyone doing? I guess I'll wait for a few more people to trickle in before I get going. But I'll pull up some resources while I wait. Sorry, ate like 4 bowls of pasta for dinner and I got gas as a result. All right. Let me send out the invite to everybody. Everybody who wants to be there for every stream, that is, which you're under no obligation to do, but you know. This mask is hot. All right. Invites are sent, and now we wait. If anyone feels like chatting, tell me how you're doing. Tell me what you're doing for Spoopy Day. Personally, I'm probably not doing much, but I dressed up because I wanted to get into the spirit to some extent. Maybe I'll find a horror movie to watch tomorrow, one I haven't seen before, that is. All right, I was just reading something interesting there. I say we start the show. So, because today is Spoopy Day, I figured that it'd be best to talk about the kind of slasher film Halloween. My personal favorite slasher movie. Um, Now why is that my favorite? Mostly on the strength of the first one, and to a lesser extent the David Gordon Green trilogy. I like Nightmare on Elm Street. Well, I like the ones Wes Craven did, which is 1, 3, and New Nightmare. I like. I don't love Friday the 13th. I've seen them all for better or worse, and they're all right. They've got their moments. They got some great kills at times, but my favorite, like artistically, is Halloween. Mostly just because I'm such a big John Carpenter fan. He. Oh God, it's so good the way he did that first movie. By the way, let me know how my mic sounds through this mask. I'd assume it sounds mostly the same, but I don't know that for sure. Hang on, just reading a little thingy here. All right, so the Halloween franchise. There's what? Let me see. I've got my Wikipedia thing about it open because I'm not a total expert. I guess there have been 13 Halloween movies. And of those 13, I'd say maybe 4.5 of them, maybe 5 are good, which gives it a better batting average than any of the other slasher movies. So the thing that's really weird and interesting about Halloween is how many times the continuity has been messed with. Like, as it says here, that it can be described as the choose your own adventure of horror franchises. Because, oh, you don't like that movie? Well, don't worry, this continuity doesn't include that movie. Oh, you like this one and nothing else? Well, good luck to you because we have this version of it that just has these two. It's something I really respect about it. It allows me to ignore some of the weaker, shittier elements of of the franchise. Wow, look at this. The original film received critical acclaim, and the 2018 film received mostly positive reviews. The other films have received either mixed or negative reviews from critics. A television series is in development. Because for some reason in Hollywood, failing upwards is a thing. So let's go through the whole franchise one by one, and let's see. Well, I don't know. Let's do what we did the other night with Carpenter. So first we have Halloween 1978. The only one of these that John Carpenter directed himself. He was involved in some of the others to one degree or another, but this is the only one he directed. It's the one that started it all. I was saying this the other night. It basically either invented or codified every single trope there is of the slasher movie. Um, like the notion that the killer walks, not running, that he's silent, that he kills with a knife rather than like just shooting everybody. Um, the whole like, you know, hot 27-year-old teenagers all having sex before they get murdered. Like all these things are it's not that Halloween's the first movie to ever do any of that, but it is the first to codify it all into one. And from there, we got Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street and Candyman and Hostel and basically just every slasher movie since then. And Carpenter, he was very much inspired by Psycho to the point of, I think, accidentally to him casting Jamie Lee Curtis, Janet Leigh's daughter, as his lead. And he named Dr. Loomis after the boyfriend from that movie, Sam Loomis. But yeah, the first Halloween's fantastic. It's got Donald Pleasance giving it his all. Amazing direction, amazing musical score. The dun 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 dun, dun like the classic horror movie score. Everyone in that movie is great, man. I don't even know what else to say about it. It's just so good. Like it's a classic for a reason. A lot of the stuff that horror movies do later that doesn't make sense is because it's stolen from Halloween where it did make sense. Like the whole, she's running away from Michael Myers and he's just casually strolling after her. That's not because he can magically teleport. It's because the door that she's trying to get through is locked. He's got all the time in the world. He doesn't need to run after her. Why does he kill the teenagers after they have sex? It's nothing to do with that. He just kills people he finds who are vulnerable, and they were vulnerable in that moment. It's really Friday the 13th that made that a whole thing. That like Jason kills the horny teenagers because horny teenagers failed to save him in the past. You know, you guys know how it goes. These franchises are very famous. Um, and even the supporting cast in this original one is good. Nancy Loomis is great. Is Annie? PJ Souls is great. I don't even remember her character's Linda. Linda was her name. You know, she was great in it. Jamie Lee Curtis, of course, made her career off of that movie for a reason because she's fantastic in it. Donald Pleasance, as I mentioned, is acting his fucking ass off. Um, and one of the real unsung heroes of it is the original Michael Myers, Nick Castle. Many people, including the producers of these future Halloween movies, don't understand how much physical acting goes into being scary the way Michael Myers is, especially because, as I talked about the other night, he's not supposed to be particularly big. He's scary because he's so ruthless and has such endurance. And part of that endurance is he moves like a robot. I mean, there's the iconic shot where he's lying there and he just sits up his entire upper body at once. And by the way, that was all Nick Castle. That was I remember the director's commentary said the only time in the whole movie that John Carpenter gave direction to Nick Castle was when he told him to, after he stabs Bob, to tip his head like he's studying his own art. That's the only time in the whole movie that any of the body language was not solely from the mind of Nick Castle. So it's great. It's a classic. And a few years later, I didn't realize these pretty much all came out around Halloween too, except for a couple of them. That makes sense. So then we've got Halloween 2, which is, shocking. The second Halloween movie. As you can see in the little blurb, I'm not really bothering to click on it because I know what I need to off the top of my head for the most part. Oh, fuck it, I'll click on it. I don't know why I'm doing this on Safari, I just realized. Yeah. Picks up after the ending of the first. So, Halloween 2 is really sucks to say with a 13 movie franchise, but the second movie in the franchise is where the cracks start to show. Because, hang on. Okay. I was reading something I didn't know there. So, why do the cracks start to show in Halloween 2? And I hate to say that because I like many things in that movie. I like a lot of the kills. I like a lot of the story elements. I like how it picks up just immediately from the first one. I think that's really interesting. Um, Donald Pleasance again is acting his fucking ass off. Sorry, I got hair in my eye that I can't reach from outside the mask. So what are the issues with it? Because overall, if you just made a few tweaks, it would be really, really good. So, one is that Michael Myers is a little bit too invulnerable in this one. Now, I get that that's like, his thing. But in the first movie, it was fairly subdued. Like, yeah, he got shot 6 times and then fell out a second story window and survived. That's crazy, but we've heard of real cases of people doing that. But then in Halloween 2, again, it's only like an hour later, so he's still bleeding from those fucking gunshot wounds. In Halloween 2, he gets shot like 7 more times at least, including seemingly in both eyes, because we have that iconic visual of the blood tears coming down his face. Or at least shot like above the eyes or below the eyes. The point is, like, shot somewhere he should be fucking dead. All kinds of other crazy shit happens to him. But I'd be willing to forgive that if not for what many people to consider the franchise's original sin, which is a plot element introduced in the second one, which is that Laurie Strode is Michael Myers' sister, and that she was adopted after the whole Michael Myers thing happened, and she has no idea that she's related to him. That's stupid. I I don't like that story. It's it's kind of silly. There doesn't need to be a reason that he's attacking Lori the whole first movie. He's scary cuz he has no reason to do the evil shit he does. And even if you need a reason, it's just, oh, she reminds him of his older sister that he killed when he was a kid. Like you could have just done that. Um so yeah, that really set the franchise onto the wrong track. Thank you, Demiurge Believer, for complimenting my Casey Jones mask. What are we talking about tonight? We are talking about the Halloween franchise. You didn't miss much about the first. All I said was that it's great, and I talked about why it's great. And you know all the reasons it's great because you introduced me to this franchise, I think. Maybe. Or maybe you just told me about it and I watched it later. I forget. Demiurge is an old friend. So, yeah, Halloween 2, it's got that one big glaring issue and also the comparatively minor issue of Michael Myers being like crazy and vulnerable, but whatever. I'd be willing to forgive that. And it's really a shame because there's other great shit in this movie. There's some great kills, there's some great nudity, that which is, key to a slasher movie. There's that scene where the nurse and I think like the orderly that she's having like a fling with, they're using the hydrotherapy tub as a hot tub. And Michael Myers breaks into the control room and turns off the safety feature till it like cooks her alive. It's like, oh, that's fucking nasty. Um, there's the blood from the eyes thing I told you about. The ending is great. Spoilers for a 45-year-old movie here. Dr. Loomis decides he needs to kill Michael now, and so he blows up the whole fucking hospital with himself in it. And Laurie's, trying to get outside of the parking lot, and all the tires of all the cars have been slashed because Michael doesn't want anyone escaping. And she's trying to get into one of the cars to take shelter, and then Michael comes out fucking fully engulfed in flame, still casually walking over to her. He might as well be whistling Dixie. And then he collapses, and it's seemingly over. That ending is fantastic, and it deserves to be in a much better movie than this one. Um, the acting performances are still pretty solid. Even what the hell's the actor's name? Because he's a supporting player. Charles Cyphers. Yeah, Charles Cyphers is there. He is as Sheriff Brackett. Like he's great. He's barely in the movie, but that's justified by the fact that his daughter was murdered. So he really only gets the one scene where he finds out that she's been murdered, and he acts his fucking ass off in it. It's really good. Um. Oh yes. Who else was in this that's worth mentioning? Oh yeah, there's that thing with here he is with Ben Schramer where they think they have Michael and they blow him up with the thing and then it's just some random guy and it's like, well, yeah, cuz Michael in the first movie stole his it was just a regular ass Halloween mask that he stole from the same hardware store he stole the knife from. So it makes sense there'd be other people out and about in that mask. Like that's cool. That's a fascinating element of the story. Um there's lots of great shit in this movie. It's just, it has the franchise's original sin dragging it down. And one thing it also has, hang on, is this guy related to who I think he is? Yes, he is. Okay. So, as you might be able to see here, yeah, here we go. Dick Warlock, that's obviously a stage name, but Dick Warlock is the coolest fucking thing you could ever name yourself. So he takes over the role of Michael Myers from Nick Castle. And I don't want to shit on him too hard because he is a professional and he doesn't do like a bad job. It's just Nick Castle had a very particular way of moving as Michael Myers. And he, like Dick Warlock, isn't the same actor. And cooler than Rodney Dangerfield, that's a cool name. But Dick Warlock, I mean, I'm picturing like a wizard with a dick for a magic wand. Like, that's fucking awesome. So like he's fine. Again, he's fine as Michael Myers. It's just he doesn't have Nick Castle's very unique je ne sais quoi or whatever the Italians call it. Like this hand gesture. So Halloween kind of mixed. I've got my Halloween 2, that is, got my issues with it. So then we got Halloween 3, which is a really weird little like black sheep of this franchise because it doesn't involve. First of all, it's the first one that Carpenter didn't write. Oh yeah, I should say that, by the way. Carpenter himself hates the twist he wrote about Laurie being Michael's sister. Like, let me see if it says that in here. Yeah, I think it does. Yeah, the plot twist of Laurie being Michael's sister was never initially planned by Carpenter or Deborah Hill, his co-writer, co-producer, but was conceived, according to Carpenter, purely as a function of having decided to become involved in the sequel to the movie where I didn't think there was really much of a story left. And by the way, he's completely right about that. He would later refer to this plotline as silly and foolish, though it would go on to shape the narrative arc of the subsequent movies. Yeah, and they mentioned how it was retconned in the 2018 one and how the screenwriter of that one, Danny McBride of all people, felt that Michael Myers would be scarier if he had no clear motive. Hang on. Yeah, I mean, like I was saying, Wadley, I guess I was saying it before you came in. Halloween 2 has lots of great stuff in it. And no, the reveal came from Halloween 2. There's nothing about that in the first movie. It doesn't mention it here, but I think Carpenter, I remember him saying in some interview that he came up with that idea at like 3 in the morning, sitting over his typewriter, chain smoking cigarettes, and having drank like at least 1 6-pack of beer, possibly more. And he just was like, fuck it, this'll do. And he's had to live with the consequences for 45 years now. Roger Ebert saying that Halloween 2 relies on the idiot plot, which, as it says here, is the concept of the plot only works if everyone involved is stupid. I think that's a little bit mean, but Halloween 2 is definitely not as well written as the first. But it's got some good stuff. Anyway, I'll get back to Halloween 3. So Halloween 3 is the first one Carpenter and Deborah Hill didn't write, though they did produce it. It was written and directed by Tommy Lee Wallace, who I believe worked on the first 2 in some capacity. He was art director for Carpenter's first movie, Dark Star, which is something I'd forgotten. Oh, yeah, he was editing. Okay, so he was involved in Halloween. And he, I guess, also did the 1990 version of it, which I did not realize. Oh, yeah, and he, at the time he made this, was married to Nancy Loomis, the Annie from the first 2 Halloween movies. Though in the second, she only appears as a corpse. I mean, it's why I thought he was after her the whole time. Did they ever say why Michael was after her in the first movie? So that's part of why they wrote the stupid he's her brother twist, was to explain that. But before you showed up, I was saying how you don't really need that. Michael's scary because he has no reason to be like he is. But then if you do insist on a reason, just, oh, she reminds him of his older sister he stabbed. Or perhaps why he stabbed his actual sister in the opening. I've had a lot of conversation about that with those who saw the first one, but I'm curious in your take. Well, that's kind of why Michael Myers is scary, because there's no reason for him to be evil. Like, from the glimpse we get of his, and this is something the Rob Zombie movie did later that I'll get into when I get to it. But in the original Halloween, like, what we see of his childhood is just normal. He's got an older sister who's like a little bit annoyed with him because any 15-year-old girl would be with a 6-year-old little brother. But like his parents seem fine. Yeah, exactly. Some men just want to watch the world burn. He just was born fucked up, and when he was 6 on Halloween night, it came out, and he fucking stabbed his sister like 18 times. His sister, who by the way was a Playboy model, I believe, or at least did some Playboy thing, but she's gorgeous. She was an adult, unlike the character. Nobody fucking accused me of anything. I made sure, I looked it up. She was an adult when she shot that movie. Anyway, so Halloween 3 is kind of, like I said, the black sheep of the Halloween franchise because it's the only one that does not have anything to do with Michael Myers. He's not in it at all. Well, technically he is, because at one point the main character is in a bar and the TV's on and the TV advertises that, like, coming up next, John Carpenter's Halloween, and, like, we see a brief little clip of Michael Myers in that fake commercial. So he is technically in it, but it's just archive footage from the first movie. So ignoring that one little cameo, Halloween 3 has nothing to do with Michael Myers. It's well, this says science fiction. That's not fully accurate. It's a very interesting, bizarre mix of science fiction and, like, paranormal witchcraft mythology. So why is this movie like this? Well, it says right here. John Carpenter and Deborah Hill, creators of the franchise, believed that the Halloween series could have been an anthology series centered around Halloween night, with each sequel containing its own character, setting, and storyline. Director Wallace stated that there were many ideas for Halloween-themed films, some of which could have potentially created any number of their own sequels, and that Season of the Witch, Halloween 3, was meant to be the first. And I personally wish that the franchise had done that, rather than continue on with Michael Myers, because as John Carpenter himself said, the story is kind of over after the first one. Like, he does his bad guy thing, he gets shot, oh shit, he's still alive, like, the threat of him is always going to be there, and that's it. That's all you need. Like, they're making a Halloween TV show now, and I really hope that what they do is this anthology shit, because that would have been way more interesting to me. Yeah, so what Halloween 3 is about, it's about this doctor who's, like, he's divorced, his kids he sees as often as he can, but his ex-wife clearly doesn't like him very much. And he discovers that, hang on, got a comment here. Especially given the title of the franchise, it could certainly cover a lot more than just Mike Myers. Yes, Mike Myers. It should have Mike Myers in the next movie. I really hope it does. So anyway, this doctor played by Tom Atkins. He obviously didn't look like that back then, but so he discovers that this company, this, like, toy company or whatever, like, they make Halloween masks and shit, Silver Shamrock. That they've got this, like, devious plan to basically kill all the kids wearing Silver Shamrock masks via this very odd mix of, like, robotic sci-fi duplicates and Celtic magic. It's weird. It doesn't fully come together as a movie, but it's very interesting. I consider it worth watching, even though I don't love it. But it's got some good shit. Oh, and it's got, as he's a lot younger here in this picture than he is in the movie, but it's got the old man from the first two RoboCop movies as the main villain. Oh, it was the poorest performing Halloween movie at the time. Okay. Yeah, so here we go. Most critics gave the film negative reviews, though reevaluation in later years has given it its own reputation as a standalone cult film. And I think that's fair. I think it has a lot of admirable qualities to it. I think it deserved better than it got. Again, I don't love it, but it also has, like, it mentions it here. It has one of the most, like, abrupt cut to black fuck you endings I've ever seen, which might be part of why people didn't like it, but I respect the hell out of it because it ends with you, the viewer, not knowing if the hero succeeds and frankly, like, not being optimistic. Like, it ends with him yelling into the phone, make it stop, referring to the broadcast that'll kill everybody, and seeing the broadcast continue to play on one of the channels. Like, it's definitely the one I remember the least. Then Demiurge, I'm not sure you saw all of them because I have, and there are a lot of them that are way less memorable than Halloween 3. But yeah, like I said, it's not great, but it's got admirable qualities. I recommend giving it one watch. Let me see where it is. It's on Peacock and AMC Plus, everybody. So if you've got either of those and or subscriptions via any of this shit, I recommend it. It's not bad. So after that movie, they come crawling back to Michael Myers 6 years later with Halloween 4, aptly subtitled The Return of Michael Myers. It again has a different actor as Michael Myers. Almost all the movies do until the latest trilogy of them, weirdly. Because they thought, it's just a stunt man. That's all you need. No, that's not true. They tried that shit for one day with the second Nightmare on Elm Street, and then they said, never mind, we need Robert Englund back. So, okay. Yeah, here we go. Despite mostly negative reviews, that is fair. I don't like this movie very much, which is weird because a lot of people do. It, I mean, you can read some of this here. Oh, hang on. I've only seen 1 through 3, H2O, then the 2007 and 2018 ones. 2007 was the worst of those. I didn't even bother with the sequel. That's fair, and I'll get to why that's fair in a bit. I don't want to get ahead of myself. But yeah, if you have only seen those, then yes, 3 probably is maybe the least memorable. Though I'd still put H2O below it. Anyway. So in this one, because they couldn't get Jamie Lee Curtis back, her character has died in a car accident off screen, leaving behind a young daughter, Jamie Lloyd, this character, who is the new protagonist of the franchise. She's like 8, 9, and she's Michael Myers' niece. She appears to have some kind of psychic connection to him because he comes back because he's been presumed dead since the hospital explosion at the end of 2. How is he back? Don't worry about it. Fuck you. There's some kind of magic shit involved. I forget honestly. Because a lot of I watched these all on a marathon. A lot of them blend together. They also bring back Donald Pleasance, even though we saw him get exploded at the end of 2. He comes back in this one with just some like minor burn scars on his face, and he's like walking with a cane now because he's old and injured, I guess. But I don't remember a lot of it. What I remember is that Donald Pleasance continues to act his fucking ass off. I hope he was getting paid well for these because he earned it, man. Having to act like this fucking script was good. Danielle Harris, who obviously did not look anything like that when she was 9 years old. She looked like this. There we go. Her face changed a lot with age. I don't know if she had plastic surgery or what, but this is, as it says here, her film debut, and she is fucking amazing in this movie. She gives one of the better child actor performances I've ever seen, and child actors aren't known for giving good performances. She's great. She's adorable too, by the way. Like she looks like a doll. You want to pick her up and cuddle her. But she contrasts that aesthetic like of being a little 8-year-old, 9-year-old girl with like this girl fighting a lot of demons in her head, literally in the case of Michael Myers. Well, he's not a demon, but you know what I mean. And she has a lot of range in this role because she has to play that, and then she has to also be brave, and then later eventually be scary. Um, she's really good. She deserved a better script than this movie. Okay, I remember now. All right, yeah. So he was comatose after the explosion at Halloween 2, and then when he's being transferred, he overhears them discussing his niece. So he wakes up and goes to fucking kill his niece, and you know how it goes. So the thing that is most memorable to me about Halloween 4 is the way it ends, which again, I'm going to spoil the 40-year-old movie, so get on board with that. So at the end of the movie, after seemingly everything is fixed, Michael gets shot like 50 million times and falls down an abandoned mine. I guess that's what happens. I remember he fell down a mountain of some kind. So all of a sudden, Little Jamie Lloyd, little 8-year-old or 9, however old Danielle Harris, just fucking stabs her goddamn, I guess, foster mother to death? Or not to death, but like, stabs her with a pair of scissors, puts on the clown mask to do it. It's a pretty interesting, like, shot for shot, almost recreation of the murder scene from the opening of Halloween. And Loomis fucking freaks out, realizing, oh no, Michael's evil has infected Jamie. Like, what are we gonna do? It's a hell of an ending, and it kind of comes out of nowhere, and you're like, oh fuck, what's the next one gonna do? So then we get a year later, Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. And what happens is nothing. She was basically possessed by Michael for a minute there, and he's like still trying to possess her. Um, I forgot about Mustafa Akkad. Yeah, so Halloween 5 kind of just continues from there. It's even less interesting than 4, and 4 wasn't really that great. I don't really like 4. 5 is worse. Danielle Harris is still great in it. In this one, she has like selective mutism because of the PTSD, so she has to, for the whole first like third or half of the movie, she has to act with no dialogue, which is a hell of an accomplishment. She does a great job. Donald Pleasance continues to pour his fucking soul into every line of dialogue Loomis has. Um, it's it's not very memorable. The older foster sister from the first one gets pretty unceremoniously killed, and before that has to spend like a lot of her screen time in a towel because she's in the shower when she hears something, and it's a little exploitative, which, shocker, slasher movie is exploitative of its attractive female cast members, but Halloween was pretty good about the nudity not feeling exploitative, so it's distracting in this one. Halloween 5 is the first one in the franchise to make, other than 3, because I'm discounting 3, is the first one to make explicit there being a supernatural connection to Michael Myers. Like, what does it say here? Yeah, so this is where she has the telepathic link to him, and he's under the influence of a fucking thing called the Cult of Thorn, and that's why he's like driven to kill everyone he's related to. As for why he never tried to kill his parents in the first movie, who knows? Who gives a fuck? Um, it's kind of boring. He shows up, he kills a bunch of people. There's some hot girls. I don't think any of them even get naked. I think they were. I mean, it's still R rated, but they were going for more PG-13 sex stuff in the movie by this point. Um, okay. Oh yeah. So the Cult of Thorn stuff was minimized, so that's why people were confused. Okay. Yeah, and then there's this character, the man. Like, the movie ends with seemingly everything's fine, and then this guy credited as the Man in Black, like, fights his way into the police station, kills a bunch of them, frees Michael, and then like kidnaps Jamie, and that's where the movie just fucking ends. It's sad. And then okay, yeah, gothic visuals, whatever. So the franchise is then dormant for 6 fucking years, ending on that cliffhanger, and that's not what I asked you to do. Fuck you. And then we get Halloween: The Curse of Michael Myers. I guess that's the first one to not have a number in it. Oh, the producer's cut does. Yeah, I forgot about the producer's cut. This was the Snyder cut of its day, everyone. Yeah, so then Curse of Michael Myers, it kind of continues from there. It picks up like 6 years later. Um, Donald Pleasance, I think this was like his last role before he died, because he died before this came out. Like, it's dedicated to his memory. Um, the thing I remember most about it is the fact that Jamie, who got kidnapped fucking 6 years ago, who's I guess 15 now, is pregnant with a child that is, like, I guess the producer's cut explicitly says it. The movie, just the theatrical cut, very strongly implies that the child is Michael's, which means that either he's raping his own niece or is beating off into a turkey baster and they're like fucking artificially inseminating her, which either way, that's fucked up and gross and incesty. And it's pretty heartbreaking if you've fallen in love with the Jamie character from the first two movies, or from the previous two movies, which I did. I loved her character despite those movies sucking. It also doesn't help that it's not Danielle Harris. Um, so I did some reading on this. What happened roughly was that she got, she was a child actor. She'd done all these roles and shit. She got word that they were doing another Halloween movie, and she called them up and was like, "Yo, I want in," not because I love doing those movies, which she did for some reason. And they said, "Yeah, well, we're only really looking at actresses who are adults for like, labor reasons. You don't have to worry about scheduling and everything." And Danielle Harris was maybe 16 or 17. So, with her parents' permission, as like essentially an early birthday present, she got herself legally emancipated so she could take this role without having to worry about the labor stuff. And they said, "All right, we'll give you, what was it, like $1,000, $5,000? Let me see if it says here. Um, oh damn, Tarantino was gonna do this movie at one point. Fuck yeah, I would have been all over that shit. Um, yeah, here we go. Danielle Harris, who was 17 at the time, completed paperwork to become legally emancipated. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so what happened was that she alleges that Dimension, the company, offered her $1,000 for a week's work to reprise a role, which was less than she paid to get emancipated. And I guess the producers, like the people actually making the movie, wanted her, but the studio said go fuck yourself. I don't know. And I guess they were like huge assholes to her. Yeah, she says they insult you saying you're a piece of shit. You die in the first act. I don't give a fuck if you were in the other two. Who cares? Yeah, to like a 17-year-old girl. The movie is also memorable for being the film debut of, as he was credited then, Paul Stephen Rudd. I think it was the first. Yeah, because he was in Clueless the same year, but I think he shot this first because it says introducing Paul Stephen Rudd in the credits. So yeah, that was like his first role, and he more or less looked exactly like that because he refuses to age. He plays the adult version of the kid Laurie was babysitting in the first one, which is an interesting idea, and he does a good job with it. He does a good job of being like a traumatized, socially awkward weirdo who never really leaves his house because he doesn't know how to deal with people. Like he was good at that role. It's just the movie sucked. Um, and I hate all the Cult of Thorn shit. I hate having like supernatural elements to Michael Myers. Like, no, he's scary just because he's a fucking motherfucker. Sorry, I was trying to get a burp out of my chest there. Who did George P. Wilbur play in this? Oh, he was just okay. Yeah, he played Michael Myers. Okay, so he did play Myers in 3 different movies. All right. Yeah, 4, 5, and 6 are kind of like they call them the Thorn trilogy because they're the three that kind of have an ongoing storyline. But it's just so fucking lame. Like they literally wrote 5 and shot the Man in Black scene at the end, not knowing who he was, and then it turns out he's just a member of the cult or whatever. Um, yeah, Curse of Michael Myers fucking sucks. So up until now, the continuity other than 3 mostly makes sense. Here is where shit gets fucking wacko Looney Tunes bullshit. The movie, which its full title is Halloween H2O 20 years later, it's a soft reboot because it's a sequel only to Halloween 1 and 2. It tosses out the Thorn trilogy and everything. And so Laurie it was kind of almost their first dry run of what the 2018 one would be. So Jamie Lee Curtis is back as Laurie. She's living in hiding. She faked her death. She's changed her name. She's like a boarding school headmistress now. She's got a son, all to hide from Michael Myers. And but then he comes back and he starts coming after her. And the reason I say it was kind of their first dry run at the 2018 one is because this was the first time Laurie's like, "Fuck you, I'm hunting you now, motherfucker." I agree that it was at that point the best of the sequels, but still not as good. So, it's got its moments. Jamie Lee Curtis is good in it. I forgot that fucking LL Cool J was in this movie. Her mother, Janet Leigh, makes a cool little small appearance as like the old lady secretary at the school. I'm trying to think of. Oh yeah, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Yeah, this movie I believe was not this debut, but yeah, like 17-year-old, nowhere near famous yet. Joseph Gordon-Levitt plays the teenage kid that Michael Myers kills via ice skate to the face in the opening scene, which is a pretty fucking awesome kill. Don't get me wrong. Now that I remember, H2O was on my watch list way back a decade ago when I saw the original. Might have to check it out just to see what it feels like. It's got its moments. If you can watch it for free, which I think you can, I guess I'd say give it a shot. It's not that great, but it's got its moments. She fucking she chops off Michael Myers' head with an axe. Um yeah, okay. Yeah, so this is the first one other than 3 that Donald Pleasance wasn't in cuz he died. They do have Tom Kane, famous voice actor Tom Kane, who does a lot of Star Wars shit. He can emulate the voice really well. So they find like an audio tape of Loomis with him as the voice. It's way better than people remember, I think. I agree that up to this point it was the best Halloween sequel. I will say that. Which is really ironic because of what came after. So, yeah, H2O, I mean, the fact that I don't have much to say about it should speak to what I think about it. I wonder how it compares to Vampires. I'm also fascinated by the thought of comparing a director's contemporary project to a later installment of a franchise they previously contributed to. That idea is a lot more interesting than comparing Vampires to Halloween H2O, because neither is that great. Though this is probably better than Vampires, because Vampires is pretty fucking bad. So after the relative success of Halloween H2O, they do possibly the worst movie in the franchise, Halloween Resurrection. This is really fucking bad, this movie, guys. It was the first one of the 21st century, and you can tell that they're really leaning into, we got all this internet shit now, isn't that crazy? But of course now it just looks horrifically dated because it's the internet as depicted by 2002. Yeah, I mean, none of the critics liked it. Same director as Halloween 2 for some reason, and I guess also the original Bad Boys, which I'm just learning right now. So this one sucks. Despite being on the poster, Jamie Lee Curtis is only in the opening scene and she gets killed, which she demanded because she didn't want to do the movie and was contractually obligated to do it and openly admitted to press, yeah, it's dog shit, don't fucking watch it. How did Michael Myers survive getting decapitated with an axe? He switched clothes with an orderly. That's the explanation. Woohoo. It's got Buster Rhymes is in this movie, and he kicks Michael Myers' ass with kung fu that is really strongly implied he learned from watching kung fu movies, because he's doing the wah noises and shit. Tyra Banks is in it. I forgot about that. It doesn't mention her here, but Katie Sackhoff is in it. Yeah, here we go, Katie Sackhoff. And the fairly exploitative scene where they make her get in her underwear in this, or make her take off her shirt, at least in this movie, is I believe the reason she doesn't do nude scenes since, or mostly doesn't do nude scenes. So that's great. That's not the guy I thought it was. Okay. Yeah, Halloween Resurrection's fucking terrible. The whole thing, it's like Busta Rhymes is like a producer of like a live stream internet horror show, and he's like trying to do a thing in the Michael Myers house, and then Michael Myers shows up. Oh, who could have predicted that? And then he kicks his ass with kung fu and says, "Trick or treat, motherfucker." I'm not gonna play the clip because I'll probably get copyright struck. But yeah, it's terrible. The whole fucking movie's dog shit. I'd prefer to never think about it again. So now we're getting to the one that Demiurge was saying was the worst of the ones they've seen. Halloween 2007, which is the Rob Zombie one, the first Rob Zombie one, which is a shame because I love Rob Zombie as a musician, but his movies. Eh. So this movie is not good. I was complaining the other day about casting the 6'9" guy as Michael Myers and how that's stupid and you don't need to do that. But I will commend this movie for one thing, which is that it actually wanted to do something different with the franchise. Because it's a reboot, they decided to actually spend the first, like, solid 20, 30, maybe even 40 minutes on Michael Myers' childhood. Like, what kind of upbringing turns you into a fucking vicious killer like Michael Myers? Well, one where your family treats you like dog shit. That's the kind of upbringing. That's not really necessary. It's not executed very well, but I commend them for trying to do something different. As I said the other day, Carpenter's advice to Rob Zombie was make the movie your own and don't worry about my opinion on it, which I think he took to heart and is probably for the best, even if I don't like how it came out. But there is good stuff in it. Hang on, I'm just okay. Starting with the cast is really fucking good. Malcolm McDowell as Dr. Loomis. Malcolm McDowell's a great actor, and he does a great job as Loomis. He's evocative of, but also very distinct from Donald Pleasant's portrayal, which is really good. Brad Dourif is, of course, one of the most amazing actors of his generation. So, shocker, the fucking masterclass actor gives a masterclass performance in this movie. Oh yeah, I forgot. Rob Zombie always casts his wife and shit, which is kind of cute, but sometimes that means that he jams her character into a role that doesn't fit into the movie. I don't know why they're ordering it like this. Is this like fucking in order of appearance? Because Laurie Strode is a way bigger character than any of these motherfuckers. Howdy. Oh, hello, Severco. I don't know if you've joined us for these before. Welcome. We're talking about the Halloween franchise. And the fact that most of it sucks, frankly. Oh, I forgot that Skylar Gazondo was in this as Tommy. That's cool. Um. Oh yeah. So here's the thing: Danielle Harris, from Halloween 4 and 5, comes back for this one as a different character, which is cool because she's a good actress. But here's the thing that's weird: now she's an adult because she was like 30 when this movie came out, playing a teenage girl because that's how Hollywood works. And also, she's really short and looks very young, so she could convincingly play a teenage girl till she was 30. So it was awkward for me. I don't know if it's awkward for everyone else watching these when they came out, but it was awkward for me because I marathoned these movies over the course of a few days. So, like on Thursday, I'm watching little 9-year-old Danielle Harris get chased around by Michael Myers. And then on Friday, I'm watching adult Danielle Harris be hot and get naked, which is a really fucking weird viewing experience for me. Most big slasher franchises only have like 3 good movies tops. Well, that's kind of why I'm talking about Halloween. Yeah, three's about how many good ones Nightmare on Elm Street had. Friday the 13th was never really that great, so that's about it. Halloween has more than three good ones, but not a ton more. Um, who else is worth talking about in here? Christina Klebb, who I don't think got very famous, but fuck me, she is so hot, and she gets fully naked in this movie, and it's awesome. It almost makes you forget about the fact that she gets horrifically stabbed to death 2 seconds later. Oh, I forgot that Dee Wallace makes a cameo. That's nice. Um, Adrienne Barbeau. Oh, that's nice. John Carpenter's former wife as makes a cameo. Danny Trejo's in it somewhere too. Does it? Yeah, this must be in order of appearance or something because Danny Trejo is up way too high for how small his role was. Oh, also regarding young actresses turned adults where it's weird to see them naked, the girl who plays the older sister, um, as it mentions here, she was the young version of Jenny in Forrest Gump when she was like 9, and now as an adult, she's in this movie. But she has the exact same fucking face that she did when she was 9. Like, it literally just has not changed at all, but it's now on an adult woman's body, and she's like showing her boobs and everything. So that's kind of fucking weird for somebody who's watched Forrest Gump as many times as I have. Um, she's kind of like Drew Barrymore. Like, Drew Barrymore is another one. She's had the exact same face since she was like 6 years old. So, anyway, how I summarize this overall, I commend it for trying to be different. That's about all the credit I can give it. Especially like the whole second half, once they're done with the Michael Myers shit, is just like a remake of the first one, like almost shot for shot. So it's not really that great. Then we get to one of the worst in the franchise, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. So why is this so much worse than his first one? Well, because it's done with the part that's trying to be different. So it kind of just rips off Halloween, the original Halloween 2 for the first, 20 minutes, and then it turns out that was all a dream. Everyone's favorite fucking plot conceit. It was all a dream. Um, fucking, like, okay, so Malcolm McDowell, his portrayal of Loomis in the first one, he did, feels pretty genuine. Like, he gets accused by some of the characters of only being interested in Michael's case for the money so he can write books about it. But whenever we see him, both with other characters and in private, he seems to genuinely care for Michael, which is one of the things that makes him distinct from Loomis in the original. Loomis in the original was pants shitting terrified of Michael and brought a gun to try to kill him, whereas Malcolm McDowell's Michael is worried for not only other people's well-being, but for Michael's. I'm sorry, not his Michael, his Loomis. He's worried about Michael's well-being as well. He does still bring a gun as a precaution, but he doesn't want to hurt Michael. Whereas Loomis in the original thought he was beyond repair and was kind of looking for an excuse to kill him, if we're being honest. So that's how he's portrayed by Malcolm McDowell in the first one. In the second one, they just wipe their fucking ass with that characterization, and he's just been like a grifting hack this whole time who's only interested in Michael because he can write books about him. Um, just like completely shits on his fucking character, which is a shame because his character was one of the things I really liked in the first one. Um, doesn't really do anything cool with Michael Myers. Shows his face a ton, which is fucking weird. In the director's cut, even has him talk once, which is also not what Michael Myers does. I never actually saw the director's cut. I saw the theatrical because that's what was on Peacock. But yeah, Rob Zombie did not want to do this movie. And that's why, in his director's cut at least, he kills off literally every character at the end so that they couldn't possibly make him do a third. Though in the theatrical, Laurie survives and gets institutionalized and has like inherited her brother's insanity or whatever, because that's how that works. Um, yeah, it just sucks. I was reading to see if there's anything else I need to talk about. The thing that is still good in it, though, other like Danielle Harris is still pretty good, and Scout Taylor Compton isn't bad. Brad Dourif continues to fucking wipe his ass with everyone else's acting performance. He's amazing. The scene where he finds out his daughter dies is even more gut wrenching than the version from the other Halloween 2, because no offense to Charles Cyphers, but Brad Dourif's a better actor. And also because they splice in like home movie footage of Danielle Harris as a young girl that like her parents shot. And like it's a fucking gut wrenching scene when he realizes his daughter died. Um, and again, he's Brad Dourif, so he fucking sells it. Uh, because again, Rob Zombie puts his wife and everything. It'd be kind of weird to put her as a different role than she played in the original, which was Michael's mother. So in this one, she comes back as Michael's mother in like ghost form. Like he keeps seeing a vision of her in white with a white horse, as like there's some kind of chess metaphor in there. I think it's fucking dumb. It doesn't need to be there. I hate when they throw supernatural shit into Halloween. So anyway, H2, as they call it here, fucking sucks balls and asshole. Then the franchise is dormant for about 9 years, and we get to the first one that came out when I was old enough to give a shit, Halloween 2018. And this one I really like. This is my second favorite of the franchise after the original. As it says here, it ignores the events of every other Halloween movie except for the first, so it tosses out all the shit I don't like. It is really well shot. James Jude Courtney is the first Michael Myers actor since Nick Castle that I think deserves the role because he emulates Nick Castle's physicality while also bringing his own to it. Excellent kills, pretty great acting performances from everybody. Laurie Strode is like a fucking doomsday prepper living in a bunker filled with traps and shit. Like that's badass. Surprisingly good script, especially from like Danny McBride. You wouldn't expect that guy to be able to write a competent horror movie, but he really can. It's it's great. What do I say? It other than like one or like that weird thing with the new Loomis being like fascinated by Michael and wanting to free him. That was kind of dumb. That was clearly a plot convenience decision, but other than that, it was pretty good. The fact that John Carpenter was actually involved again was great, especially because the reason he agreed to be involved was because they tossed out the fucking sibling thing he regrets writing. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. He's the composer on this one. Him and his son and his son's godfather, who I guess is like an old friend of his. The three of them composed the music together for this whole trilogy, and it's fantastic. Thank you, StreamYard. I just realized you've been showing that the whole fucking time. I don't need that. Yeah, it's a great movie. There's fucking awesome shit. It's the best spiritual successor to the original, where it feels like the original without feeling too much like it. I really like it. It's good shit. Then we get Halloween Kills. Now I am going to piss some of you off with this. I like this movie. I like it well enough. It's my least favorite of the trilogy, but it's got some cool shit in it. It's got like the flashback to 70s Michael like on that night. Um it has the craziest fucking Donald Pleasance recreation I've ever seen because he walks in and he looks like Donald Pleasance and I'm like, "Oh wow, they must have found some footage from the original." And then he says, "Officer Hawkins," which is the name of a new character who wasn't in the original. And I was like, "Wait, did they CG him in?" And I'm studying it. It's like, "No, that looks too good to be CG." No, one of their behind the scenes crew guys, like First AC or whatever he was, happens to bear a stunning resemblance to Donald Pleasance. So they put him in makeup to make him look even more like him, and they dubbed his voice with an impressionist actor. And as a result, had a cameo from a dead actor that wasn't fucking insulting, which I really respect. Yeah, like I said, this one is not the best of the. It's probably my least favorite of the new trilogy, but because it does meander a bit. But it's got some cool stuff. It's got Anthony Michael Hall as the adult version of Tommy, and I like him. Um, it has, despite it being my least favorite of the trilogy, it has my favorite kill in the entire franchise, which is when Michael he goes into the couple's house. He takes the fluorescent light tube out of their kitchen sink light, breaks it, stabs the wife in the neck, and she's lying there like paralyzed. So all she can do is watch as he kills her husband, and then slumps her husband. Excuse me. Slumps her husband onto the kitchen counter, grabs like the knife block or whatever, takes every single knife out and stabs him in the back with it one by one to test which is his favorite knife, and then decides on one, takes that knife, and leaves the rest in when he leaves. Like, that is my favorite Michael Myers kill ever. Because that's how he's supposed to fucking behave. He's a fucking lunatic. That's why he's like this. So, like I said, it meanders a little. It ends. The way it ends implies that Laurie's gonna really fucking hunt down Michael, and then the next one opens with her doing the exact opposite, which is kind of stupid. I think COVID fucked them up because this, like they shot this in 2019 and it didn't come out for an extra year due to COVID. So I think that's what really fucked them up on in terms of why the third one feels disjointed. So then we get to the last one, Halloween Ends. I did not mean to, excuse me. I actually want to have that on a separate tab. Now, this is controversial. I like this one. I don't like it as much as the 2018 one. And I definitely think it's got some issues, but I like it. It makes more sense than people give it credit for because most people are like, oh, why is Michael Myers like old and decrepit? And I'm like, well, remember how many fucking insane injuries he suffered over the course of the previous two movies, which take place on the same night. Like, he lost 2 fingers to a shotgun blast. He got shot like a million fucking times, set on fire, stabbed, burned. Like, it makes sense that a 60-year-old man, even if he's running on pure adrenaline, wouldn't that night would take its toll on his body. So I actually liked that element of it. Yeah, people criticized the fact that it focused on what was his name? Cody? Corey. On Corey's character a lot. Which that's fair. It did feel mostly like Corey's movie, and then in the last 10 minutes, it turns into the last Laurie Michael showdown. But that showdown's great. It's got a lot of issues. The movie, don't get me wrong, but I respect it. I thought it was better than like most of the Halloween franchise. Yeah, it's still ranked number 2 on best slashers of the decade. I don't know. It had some cool shit. It had some characters come back that I was surprised to see. It finally with this fucking franchise kills Michael Myers off seemingly for good by like killing him dead, killing him to death, and then killing his corpse to death. Like it literally ends with them throwing him in an industrial shredder. And I was fully expecting his fucking hand to wake up and drag Laurie into the industrial shredder, and remarkably they didn't. They gave it a proper ending. Good for them. I really fucking hope that they don't make any more of these, but they say they're going to. Anyway, so that's like the gist of each movie. This is how the continuity works in them. See what I mean about choose your own adventure? See how it's fucking weird and silly? But hey, it means that you can have fun. It means that if you like that Cult of Thorn bullshit, you can include it, and if you don't have to. Because God, I can't tell you how many franchises I love where I'm stuck with something stupid that one of them wrote that is now just part of the franchise forever now. Like the whole Anakin is a virgin birth thing. Fuck that. That's stupid. Uh yeah, we just went over all this. Oh yeah, there's like novels and shit too. Yeah, okay, so I'd forgotten about this. The novelization of the first Halloween is kind of where the first like Cult of Thorn magic shit really came from. And then like they would expand on that in the movies, of course. I never read any of these novels or comic books. I wonder if they're any good. I doubt it, but you never know. Okay. There's a video game? Huh, cool. Oh yeah, everything is in Call of Duty now. Michael Myers is in fucking Call of Duty. I don't know why, but what are you gonna do, right? Future. Okay, this is what I want to see. Okay, so Jamie Lee Curtis says she's done with Halloween. Now, granted, she has said that before, but then they offered her money. But Space Jeebus, yeah, I don't like Space Jeebus. I will defend the prequels more than most, but I still fucking hate the notion of the virgin birth. I don't want any kind of Christian mythology horseshit in Star Wars. Oh, Blum. Okay, so Blumhouse did not get does not any longer have the rights to Halloween, which is probably for the best because Jason Blum has said some really stupid shit supporting AI recently. Okay, so they're saying that this Halloween TV show they're threatening to develop will yet again spin off just from the original movie. That's really dumb, but okay, fine. I guess I'm locked in. I guess I'm handcuffed to this fucking dead body that I'm just going to drag to the finish line. Funny thing, this is still my favorite slasher franchise because having 4 good movies puts you above Nightmare on Elm Street, which has only 3 good movies. I know that sounds insane, but that's my story and I'm sticking to it. Ugh. Oh man, they would have had A24 doing the Halloween TV show. I trust them a little more than Miramax. Not that I distrust Miramax. Well, you should have for a while, but not because of their creative aspects, because of who ran them. But he's gone now. He'll probably be dead soon. So who cares? So anyway, that's pretty much my thoughts on the Halloween franchise. I like it. Well, I don't like it, but I like installments of it. What other Halloween stuff do you guys want to talk about before I go? I got a little more time. I got a little more time before I have to leave. Um, I don't know. I don't have much to say about Friday the 13th. They're fine. They're whatever. I never really liked any of them. I liked some of the nudity in them. That was cool. Yeah, I need to see Scream. I've actually never seen them. It's nothing personal. I've just never gotten to them. Um, I'm not that they don't count as slashers, but when I was talking about like the slashers, I was talking about the big three. I was talking about like the ones that invented the genre, not the ones that subvert it. Thoughts on Wes Craven's New Nightmare? Now we're talking. New Nightmare was kind of his first attempt at Scream, almost. It was his first time like subverting the horror tropes in a movie that references other horror movies. But I like New Nightmare a lot. I like the fact that Freddy Krueger like makes it into the real world, and I like that Freddy's design looks different because, of course, the movies wouldn't have a perfect recreation of what Freddy looks like. Because Freddy's some kind of like ancient demon that takes many forms over the years or whatever. Heather Langenkamp is great in it, playing herself. Wes Craven plays himself in I guess you'd call it an extended cameo because he's in a few scenes, and I didn't realize that he acted, but he does. I mean, I suppose it's not that hard to play yourself, right? But he does a pretty good job with it. Um, I mean, I was saying earlier that there's only 3 movies in the Nightmare franchise I really like, and they're the 3 that Craven was involved with. 1, 3, and New Nightmare. 1 and New Nightmare he directed. 3, I think he just wrote. Um, I was hoping Wes would be the star being hunted, but it was still good. That would have been cool. But it's appropriate that it's Heather Langenkamp. And also, Wes Craven's not really an actor. I guess he's good enough to carry a few scenes, but I'm sure that directing and starring in the movie would have been a huge pain in the ass. I mean, hell, I said the other night, that's why The Thing is one of the few Carpenter movies he didn't do the score for, was because that was a very ambitious movie, and directing it required his full attention. But yeah, I like New Nightmare. Have I really liked any of them since? Not really. Like Freddy versus Jason isn't that great. The remake has like flickerings of a good idea here and there, but overall it's pretty uninteresting. Though Jackie Earl Haley is a very good Freddy Krueger. He's not Robert Englund. He's a much more serious, scary, explicitly pedophilic take on Freddy Krueger. Because that was the original idea, was that Freddy was a child molester, but then the censors asked them to tone it down, so he turned it into more of like a serial killer who targeted children. Because I guess killing children is better than molesting them, I guess. But then the remake in 2010 made it more explicit that he was interested in those kids for more than just killing, is my point. But Jackie Earle Haley was great in the role. It's just the movie itself wasn't very good. Horror remakes never really are, except for The Thing, I guess. But or The Blob. The remake of The Blob is great. Um, Same with the Friday the 13th remake. They kind of just like condensed all the famous shit from the first 3 into one movie because it takes till the third for him to get his iconic look. I do remember that one of the girls in the Friday the 13th remake, who's hot as fuck, gets naked, and that scene was awesome. But the fact that that's the most memorable thing about the movie should speak to how good the movie was. Are they still hang on. I'm gonna take this off the screen for a second. Are they still working out the legal issues with Friday the 13th? The remake was so edgy. Yeah, it really was. Like, obnoxiously so. Alright, I'm not trusting the AI overview, so I'm gonna trust this Collider article instead. Uh, okay. Alright, here we go. Friday the 13th was a big hit, making nearly 40 million. That success meant sequels, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so the writer of the first movie and the director of the first movie, who I guess stuck around as producer. Okay. So the point of discrepancy, I guess Sean Cunningham said Victor Miller was like work for hire. It's not really mentioning it here, but part of what the discrepancy was that I know of from other sources is that there was a disagreement over who owned the rights to Jason Voorhees, because Victor Miller kind of was like, "Well, I created Jason Voorhees for the first movie," and the other guy, frankly, somewhat rightfully, was like, "Yeah, but Jason Voorhees was just like the dead kid who never really appears except for the nightmare sequence in the first one. The sequels are the ones that created the Jason Voorhees everyone thinks of with the hockey mask and the machete and everything." Add minus AI to my Google searches. Thank you, Severco. I'm going to keep that in mind because I fucking can't stand the AI overview. Um, Okay, so it looks like they ruled that Victor Miller does indeed have at least some ownership over the character over the franchise. It's just talking about the franchise, not the character. Because that was yeah, see that's Jason Voorhees' one appearance in the first movie. Everything else is his mom killing people. Okay, so Victor Miller, who only wrote the first movie, only retained the IP from that first movie. Um, so Jason Voorhees is barely in the first movie. Oh, Kane Hodder came back for the game. I guess that's cool. Yeah, so anyway, the point of all this is that this lawsuit is a big part of why there hasn't been any Friday the 13th stuff in years, like other than that video game. Because I'm sure they would have loved to shit out a million more sequels and remakes and shit, but the lawsuit was holding them up. Why have they not done anything with Nightmare on Elm Street? I want the franchise, please. Future. Is there anything coming from Nightmare on Elm Street in the future? Yeah, so it looks like just a bunch of ideas, nothing formally in development. Though I guess Robert Englund did come back as Freddy in an episode of The Goldbergs, which I didn't see that one. The Friday the 13th game was quite fun. I did hear that, and didn't they like take it off the storefront or something? Wasn't there some controversy about that? Um, yeah, I used to watch The Goldbergs. The problem with that show, I'd stopped watching it before the episode they're talking about. The problem with that show is basically just that it only had like 6 plots, and every episode was like, it had a few plots per episode. It just cycled through them endlessly, and I couldn't fucking watch that anymore, which is a shame. I really liked the characters in that show, but it's just like, oh yeah, here's another episode where Murray learns how to appreciate his kids more. I guess the lesson didn't sink in the previous 10 times he learned that lesson. Oh, here's Wendy learning to not smother her kids. Oh, Adam's growing up. Oh, Erica learned to appreciate her family more. Like, okay. Like, that's fine. It was fine the first few times, but then it just every fucking 6 episodes is one of those. And I guess, what's his name? The lead guy from it. Jeff Garlin. So I guess Jeff Garlin, he got fired from that show over, like, it wasn't full on sexual harassment. They said something about like inappropriate behavior on set. They kind of buried it, really. Um, yeah, it got shut down unexpectedly. I think due to the IP argument. Oh, the Friday the 13th game. Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah, I George Segal. I remember him. Yeah, they had to kill him off because the actor died, which that's a little different. Um, oh, I forgot about this. Despite Garland's departure from the cast in December 2021, during which season 9 had yet to wrap production, he remained on the show via the use of outtakes, CGI, and stand-ins. Yeah, I saw the CGI double of him once, and frankly, like, it looked weird, but it looked all right. Like for a network show. Yeah, okay, misconduct allegations. Here we go. Um, Allegedly engaging in a pattern of verbal and physical conduct on the set that made people uncomfortable. Okay, yeah, so he wasn't like being a sex pervert. He just it was like hostile work environment type shit, which is still not great, but it's better than being a sex pervert, I guess. Yeah, whatever. It sounds like some fucking something I don't know about. Oh, bipolar disorder? Yeah, that could be part of it. And not that that's an excuse, but it. Okay. Yeah, it sucks that that whole thing happened. I don't know much about it, and I don't really want to, frankly. I don't because I like some of the stuff he's done, so I'd rather not learn that he was like a fucking huge perverted piece of shit. Um, yeah, sucks, I guess. Anyway, that pretty much covers everything I have scheduled to discuss. If anyone wants to discuss anything else, I could stick around for another minute or two. If not, I would certainly be happy to go, you know, go have a little bit of fun, shall we say? Go, to quote Keen Peele, "Schmoke of the reefer and make of the hanky panky with boys." Well, probably not with boys, but yeah. Hey, fuck it. It's been a while for me. Maybe I could. Maybe I'm desperate enough for that. We'll find out, right? Um, I need to find a good fucking horror. Somebody give me a good like one-off horror thing to watch tomorrow because I'm trying to think of a good one and I can't, and I don't want to get involved in another like 15 movie franchise. I've done that the last few Halloweens. Um, and I'm obviously too old to go trick or treating, and we never get any fucking trick or treaters at this at where I live now, which really sucks. I wish we did. Final thought. I've been logging in every movie that I've watched from my watch list ever. If you attempted that, how long would it be? Well, I did attempt that best I could when I made my Letterboxd account almost 6 years ago. Um, so I mean, I did my best, but every now and then I like think of a movie and I'm like, oh yeah, and then I look and I hadn't logged it because I'd forgotten to log it. I have been very good about ever since I made my account logging logging everything I've watched since. For tomorrow, I'd highly recommend Scream '96. I would, but that's the start of a franchise. I don't want to bite off more than I could chew. I could make a short horror movie about my roommate situation. I'm not going to tell that story to everybody if you don't want me to, but if you're okay with it, I would because it is like an interesting story, but it's yours to tell. And if you don't want me to tell it, that's fine. So I'll wait around for you to respond which way you want because that's your business. If you don't want it out there, I'm not putting it out there. Ugh. When evil lurks. I'm assuming that that was in reference to what you said. Oh, that's a movie. Okay, When Evil Lurks. I thought you were just saying that in response to your roommate situation. Argentinian horror movie, you say? Ooh. It's in Spanish. That's a little annoying, but it's not a deal breaker. Let's see what Letterboxd has to say. That's the closest thing to a review aggregator that I trust. Ooh, a friend of mine wrote something I want to read. Oh, this is in my watch list already. All right. Okay. Yeah, maybe I'll check that out. Okay, here we go. Nah, you can share. All right, so before I go, I'll tell a real life horror story. So Severco is a friend of mine from real life, which I know, shocking that I have those. So they've been living in, I don't even remember what town, and I shouldn't say it anyway, but they've been living relatively near me, like within the same state. And they had a roommate. They and their partner had one room, and then there's like at least one other. I forget. So they needed a, I guess, third roommate because rent is expensive. And they found someone in like a queer housing Massachusetts Facebook group, I think was what you told me. And some Colombian immigrant trans woman whose name I don't remember. Everything seems fine at first, and then, and correct me if I'm telling any part of the story wrong, Severico. So she started acting kind of erratic. Like she kind of started not really, like if you asked her a question, not really answering it in a way that made sense, like someone who was mentally struggling. That was my bag. Sorry. So, and sorry for the hiccups as well. So one night, Severico and their partner wake up to the sound of the smoke alarm going off at 3 in the morning, and discover that that the roommate had possibly accidentally, but probably not, set a broom on fire in the basement. Fourth roommate had set a broom on fire in the basement in an attempt to set something else on fire that you're not supposed to set on fire, like a painting or something. Something I think you said. So that turned into a whole thing. Restraining orders were filed. Makes sense. And then my friend and their partner are staying with friends because they can't kick this roommate out just yet. They got like 30 days to do it. And then find out that after the restraining order was filed, that the roommate had broken in and stolen clothes, including from this friend of mine, and like was arrested and arraigned wearing them. And then I guess like ICE got involved because she's Colombian, so like rare band merch probably just down the fucking drain. So I feel bad for you, Sever. We all do. It'd be nice if you got that rare band merch back, if it's not like evidence or whatever. And despite your completely justifiable lack of sympathy for her, 100% intentionally. Okay. So, despite your completely understandable lack of sympathy, I hope this woman gets the help she needs, because she clearly does. I guess the reason she was acting erratic was because she was on something, like she was on like a multi-drug OD or whatever. So she's clearly fighting some demons, and hopefully she gets the help she needs. Because I don't know this person, so I'm not going to wish ill will upon them. But yeah, that story is definitely fucked up for my friend and their partner, and I definitely don't blame either of them for saying like "fuck this bitch." It's fucked up. It's a bag slap. I feel bad for both of them. I feel bad for the roommate, even though she's kind of nuts. I feel bad for myself for not shaving under my fucking arms. I didn't know I'd be wearing a sleeveless shirt today, and then I realized I should wear a Halloween costume for the Halloween show. So here I am. Hey, I'm Casey Jones. I can't really do the voice because I can't do accents very well. And his accent varies depending on which version of Ninja Turtles you're watching anyway. Anyway, it's getting late, and I feel like watching Star Trek and getting high. So I think I'm going to go do that. Does anyone else have anything they need, anything they want to talk about before we go? I'm guessing no. So I think I'm going to log out. Take care, everyone. Drink your fucking water, take your pills, change your colostomy bags, fucking fill your CPAP machines with distilled water, not with tap water, because the minerals will fucking kill you or whatever. Take care, everybody. Have a good night. Have a good night to you too, Wadley. Thank you for joining. And I will see you guys on Tuesday at 8. Now that I've learned how to schedule streams, you can even join them early. Oh, her brother is letting us take some of her shit as restitution for the damage she caused and things she stole. I guess that works out. I mean, it's sad for everyone involved, but all right. Have a good night, everyone. I'll see you on Tuesday. God damn it, these fucking hiccups. Take care, everyone.